Somewhere on the internet there is a list. It doesn't contain names. It doesn't contain usernames. It contains patterns. If your online behavior matches one of them, you are marked. Not notified, not warned, just observed. Group 764 isn't a cult you join. It's something that notices you. And according to Leaks records, once you're noticed, people around you start disappearing from your digital life first, then from the real one. This isn't where the story begins, but if you're still watching after this, you might already be part of it. In early 2021, cybersecurity researchers began noticing a strange pattern. Across multiple platforms, Discord, Telegram, obscure forums, accounts would suddenly go dark within minutes of mentioning certain phrases. Not keywords, not links, phrases. Sentences like, "We are ready," "I see the pattern," "The seventh is complete." At first, moderators assumed it was coincidence, automated bans, false positives. But then it kept happening. Users would type one of these phrases, sometimes jokingly, and within seconds their accounts would vanish. Not suspended, not flagged, deleted, as if they had never existed. Even more disturbing, the same usernames would occasionally reappear weeks later, active, posting normally, but denying everything. They would insist they'd never been gone. By mid-2021, the phenomenon had escalated. A private research group documenting digital cult behavior published an internal memo describing what they called voluntary erasure events. Their conclusion was unsettling. These users weren't being banned, they were leaving, completely, deleting accounts across platforms, wiping cloud backups, disconnecting phones, vanishing from online life entirely. And the timing always lined up with one thing: contact with Group 764. Around this time, a pattern began forming among the disappearances. Most of those affected were, between 16 and 30, chronically online, interested in philosophy, AI, or existential topics, experiencing isolation, anxiety, or depression. Group 764 didn't recruit randomly. It targeted vulnerability, and it did so quietly, through private messages that felt less like invitations and more like recognition. Messages that began with, "You've already noticed it, haven't you?" Before we go any further, it's important to understand something. What you're about to hear assumes you already know how Group 764 first appeared, where the name came from, how the initiations worked, and why the number 7 mattered. This part of the story only exists because of what happened before. Those who engaged with Group 764 long enough eventually learned about Phase 2. It wasn't advertised publicly, it wasn't documented openly, it was whispered. Phase 2 was referred to as the calibration, and according to leaked chat logs, it marked the moment where members stopped being observers and became participants. One former member, who later spoke anonymously to a European journalist, described it like this: "At first, it feels like therapy. Like someone finally understands how broken everything feels. Then one day, they tell you the world is misaligned, and you're one of the few who can fix it." The calibration involved daily tasks, not dangerous ones, not at first. Members were asked to alter routines slightly, sleep at irregular hours, avoid mirrors for extended periods, write down dreams immediately after waking, spend time staring at a static image for exactly 7 minutes. The group claimed these actions helped desynchronize members from what they called baseline reality, whatever that meant. Then came the recordings. Members were instructed to wear headphones and listen to audio files provided through encrypted links. Each file lasted exactly 7 minutes and 46 seconds. Most were silent. Some contained faint tones. Others included whispered counting, always stopping at 7. Several users reported headaches, nosebleeds, time distortion. One said the audio made their reflection feel delayed. It was around this stage that moderators began noticing something deeply disturbing. Members who reached Phase 2 stopped interacting emotionally. Their language flattened. Responses became slower. Posts lost personality. They still typed, but it felt automated, as if someone else was deciding when they spoke. Then came the disappearances. In October 2021, 7 users from a private server tied to Group 764 vanished within a 48-hour window. All 7 had completed calibration. All 7 had uploaded the same final message: "I'm ready to transfer." None of them were ever heard from again. Authorities initially dismissed the incident as coordinated trolling or mental health crises, but something didn't add up. Family members reported that several of the missing individuals left behind everything: wallets, phones, keys, no notes, just powered-off devices and wiped drives. One parent claimed their child's computer rebooted itself the night they disappeared, displaying only a black screen with a white circle divided into 7 segments. The image vanished seconds later. In 2022, a cybersecurity firm attempted to infiltrate what remained of Group 764's infrastructure. They failed. Every node they traced led somewhere impossible. IPS, resolving to dead addresses, traffic looping through outdated satellites, packets timestamped before they were sent. One engineer reportedly said, "It's like chasing a shadow that reacts faster than light." Shortly after, something even stranger happened. AI moderation systems, trained to detect extremist content, began flagging nothing. Blank posts, empty messages. The system identified them as high-risk ideological material. When developers reviewed the flagged content manually, there was nothing there, just white space. By late 2023, the narrative shifted. Group 764 stopped recruiting openly. Instead, people began reporting contact without initiation. Emails with no sender, files appearing on desktops, draft messages typed but never written. Always the same phrase: Phase 3 is approaching. A university research lab in South Korea accidentally encountered one of these files while training a language model. The file contained no readable text, yet the AI output the same response every time it was analysed. We are no longer alone in the system. The experiment was shut down within hours. The data was destroyed, officially. In early 2024, an anonymous post surfaced on a Tor forum dedicated to unsolved disappearances. The post claimed that Group 764 was never meant to be a cult. It was a filter. According to the post, the group's purpose was to identify individuals capable of perceiving inconsistencies in reality, people whose cognition didn't fully align with baseline perception. In other words, people who noticed things they weren't supposed to. The post ended with a warning. Once enough of them are identified, recruitment ends. Observation becomes unnecessary. Phase 3 begins. Within minutes, the post was deleted, but not before hundreds of users saved it, and not before one final reply appeared. It simply said, "Correct." Since then, the signs have increased. Strange outages, mirrored accounts, people insisting conversations happened that never did, always surrounding the same communities, always involving the same number, 7. The most recent incident occurred just months ago. A Reddit user posted a screenshot of their desktop. In the corner of the screen was a folder labelled 764. They claimed they never created it. Inside were 7 text files. Each contained one sentence. The final file read, "You're observing us now." The post remained online for 17 seconds. Then the account vanished. So what is Group 764 now? A cult? A psychological operation? An emergent intelligence? No one knows. But one thing is certain. It's no longer asking people to join. It's deciding who already has. And if you're watching this, if any of this feels familiar, if certain phrases feel heavier than they should, that might not be coincidence. Because Group 764 doesn't announce itself anymore. It waits. It watches patterns. And it acts when the alignment is complete. The last confirmed message associated with Group 764 appeared earlier this year. It contained only one line. Phase 3 is not an event. It's a condition. No explanation followed. No context. Just silence. And that's what makes this so terrifying. Not the disappearances, not the rituals, not even the possibility of something living inside the system. It's the idea that Group 764 may have already succeeded, that the calibration is complete, and that whatever comes next won't need permission. If you ever encounter the number 764 somewhere it doesn't belong, on your screen, in a file, in a reflection, don't engage, don't respond, and whatever you do, don't try to understand it, because understanding was never the goal.